Hey everyone, welcome back to another day. And in this day, we will talk about basic items you need, you need to have if somehow you are in a survival situation. And yeah, and the survival can be anything. We talk about apocalyptic events in the early day, right? And yeah, now we are talking about what items we should prepare. Like the most urgent items that we need to have to survive. Basically, during those rough times, if something really ever happened in the future, right? So the first is of course food. This one is pretty straightforward. Um, if you are surviving, your best food or yeah your best friend of food is basically food in package, um, because it has long expiration time, and usually this type of food in package has lots of calories in it. And yeah, um, you can get canned food because this is like the most common food items, right? Like for instance, you can get fish in a can or beef in a can and stuff like that, or even vegetables in can, right? Canned vegetables is now a thing also, right? And then fruit and stuff like that. And usually this type of food has expiration time for at least 1 year. It's way more than 1 year at some cases, especially if it's fresh, just out from the factory. And yeah, it's probably 2 years at on average, and 2 years is a lot of time to happen during survival time, of course. Like and yeah, and you probably think, where would you get these items, right? Well, of course, during the first, days of the apocalyptics, you can get this from a supermarket, basically, your local store, and yeah, it's basically sold there. But of course, when this thing like apocalyptic happens, people will ration, right? And the price will increase and stuff like that. So you need to basically you need to be fast and make sure that you got some before you actually don't get anything at all, because uh, to get food it's actually quite difficult. It's basically using what you have at that time, right? And for instance, in my refrigerator right now, I have like some kind of meat and chicken meat, and then some leftover vegetables, and then very few amount of fruit and stuff like that. And then there's also eggs. But the thing is that this will last you for days, probably weeks, even if you ration this properly. Like for instance, one day you eat a bit of vegetable, a bit of meat, and then the next day you eat a few eggs and stuff like that. You can extend this probably for about 1 to 2 week at most if you haven't prepared anything. And then like carbohydrates like rice, you probably have this in stock, right? And you can start rationing this. But the thing about this is that you cannot rely on your current food. You need to buy something outside for at least 1 month, I would say. And yeah, the best food I'd say is the packaging food that has long expiration time. And you might want to get as many as you can, but of course you need to think about others also. except that you accept that nobody actually shows up in the store, and then you can then start buying lots of stuff because why nobody get that, right? And then uh yeah, because of this food is the best, I would say. Of course this will last first, like for instance this will run out first, right? And then you will probably get leftover with snacks, like for instance chips, and then just like for instance cookies and like Oreos and stuff like that. This is also not bad. This has high calories, so you might want to grab some of these, but do not eat all of these at once or continuously without eating any actual food, like a source of protein and vegetable and fat and stuff like that. Because if you eat too many sweets, your sweet what is it sweet level in your blood will actually increase, and that's actually bad. Yeah, if you have too many sweets in your blood, that's actually bad. So yeah, you want to grab lots of food. Well, not lots of food. Like handful amount of food. During your first day of apocalyptic event, but that's of course always unpredictable, right? There could be an earthquake, and you probably think that this is just normal earthquake, right? Nothing bad will happen, so you probably don't think about that much about your food, and you end up overwhelming yourself about the current situation, that the earthquake getting a lot worse later on, and then other stuff begin to happen as well as a result of that. And then you at that point you will already be too late probably. And yeah, so that's about food. And then the second is water. This one is a little bit easier, I would say, because there's a lot of water, I would say, even though not really. So getting water is easier than getting food, because you can get water from rain, and then you can go to a river and then just filtering your own water basically, through simple filter. You can put water, and then the outcome will be fresh water, then you can cook it and then drink it. But for food you cannot, the food does not just fall from the sky, right? Or it just doesn't flow in the river. So food is probably more difficult to get than water. But still, water is still more important, because you need a lot of it for your body regulation, because you don't want your urine to become yellow, especially this kind of yellow, dark yellow, because it means that you have too much stuff in it that needs to be taken out, but you don't have enough liquid body to carry them out, or in other words the concentration of this junk is too high, and then your water cannot keep up with it, and that's why, and it will become worse for your body. And yeah, so to get water, like I said, it's quite simple. You can get it from rainwater basically, and then you can also get from a river. Like I said, from filtration, simple filtration, and then you can store it right in like bottles if you have bottles at home, or just glass, or just fill bucket full of water that you can use later on. That's always usable, and it's always easy. And then the fact that uh, during this apocalyptic first days of everything, your tap water is probably still working. So you might want to milk all of the water that you can get from this, Your problem is probably the container, right? To store the water, but yeah, the tap water is probably still working in the first days anyway. You just, the electricity has not out, hasn't been out just yet, so you can turn on your pump and then just get the water flow, and yeah, or just, turn on it and the water will come out by itself. And then that's about water. That's easier than food. And then the last thing you probably want to take into consideration is shelter. um well, this one is easier because you probably have house already, and use your house as your fort. Fortified base. Basically, you can start nailing your windows with blocks and stuff like that, just to uh, precaution if there's actually will be riot, and then people will attack, for whatever reason, and I don't know why would they attack, but or even yeah, this this can happen, right? But you don't need to worry about this probably in later days if the conditions doesn't get better. In like few months, you probably want to start considering, making defenses into your house, because things like that all can always happen, right? um, yeah, of course there will be authorities like police and your army, probably, or cops, just circling around the town to make sure that nothing bad happen. But yeah, this is pretty simple. Just use shelter basically, and um, these three are actually the things that I consider to be difficult to get at the start. Of course, the food will be, your main uh, task or quest to get, because of course, to grow food from land you actually need a lot of time, especially if you plant them by yourself from the seed. um, this will take months, and you probably won't last months without food to grow this anyway. So yeah, and you can also use like livestock, like live animals. um, like for instance, you can eat chicken if you have some, and then you can just kill it basically, and you can get fat for about 1 week if you ration it properly. But uh, for food, unfortunately, like today's society, we rely food from others, right? We don't get food by ourselves, so we need to rely on others, and during tough, rough days like these, probably they won't sell their food source, and the price got increased like a lot. It's just getting ridiculous. But then again, yeah, your best food is probably uh packaged food from the store, and that's, you know will be your main and emergency food basically for a long time. And yeah, I guess that will be it for today's discussion. I personally think that those three items are the most vital ones, for survivor, because um, I joined like some kind of adventure community, and yeah, when we were at forest, the first thing that we need is actually just food, water, and shelter. Basically, that's it. um, the food we got from hunting. We got, we placed trap, a simple trap that you stick and then uh, rope, and then we make the rope the lasso, what is called knot, and then when something land on it, it will get snared, and then as the water, we just use the water from the creek or the water source, water stream like river and such, and we just drink it. We just drank it because we just believe it's clear, and yeah, because it also look clear, it doesn't smell anything and it doesn't taste. So that's like fresh water basically. And then the shelter, we use our raincoat to make a simple tent. And yeah, it's basically you put a rope and then put your raincoat on top of it, and then it just becomes shelter. Basically, you go inside from the side, and then yeah, that's basically your shelter for sleep during the night. And yeah, I guess that will be it for today's discussion. Let me know if you have anything else that needs to be added to the list for items that are basic items that is needed for um, preparing for apocalyptic event. Of course, this type of stuff actually pick my interest the most because I like doing survival things, especially in games. Like if you notice my game content or game videos, I actually make a lot of survival type of games. So, and at most of them always hinted me to have food, water, and shelter at the first time as basic items, and then you can get friends to help you, and you basically help each other, and yeah, and so on and so on. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what else that you think we need to have to survive apocalyptic events, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.